everyone, this is Sasha bringing you a video tutorial today from BP4U. So after you have your white balance set, the next thing that you're going to work with is your tones. And so we have a couple tools here for that, and that is exposure, recovery, fill light, blacks, brightness, and contrast. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to look at my histogram to decide what tool that I need to use. So I can see here that when I look at this histogram, it's sort of all here in the middle. So over here is my blacks, over here is my middle gray, and over here is my highlights. So when I'm looking at this histogram, what I can see is that my photo lacks a lot of contrast. My photo has a lot of the gray tones in it, not a lot of white, not a lot of black. So let's go ahead first, and we can expose the photo just a little bit. And if we expose it too much, you can see now that we have this histogram climbing up this wall over here, so to speak. That means that we now have clipped highlights. And so if I go ahead and I click on this right here, it is showing me every spot in my photo where my highlights are clipped. So I can just go ahead and I can pull that down until my photo is bright, but there are no clipped highlights. So the next slider that I'm going to go ahead and use is my blacks. I can see here that I don't have any blacks over here in my photo. So I can start pulling the blacks up, and if I turn on my black clippings, I can start to see these blue spots that pop up. That is telling me that I have clipped my blacks. So I can go ahead and I can pull those down then, so that I have black in my photo, but I don't have a lot of clipped blacks, which means that my black values are too dark. So the next one that I can go ahead and look at is my contrast for this photo, and I could add a little bit of contrast if I wanted to. Again, paying attention to my highlight and my black clippings. And then we can add some brightness if we need to. So if we thought that our photo was still not exposed enough, we could go ahead and we could add brightness, but I really think that with this particular photo that this is enough. So if we looked at it now and we thought that we had some clipped highlights and we didn't want to see those, we could go ahead and we could pull up our recovery. And what our recovery is doing, if you're watching our histogram, is it is pulling back on our highlights, and it is actually relieving some of those highlights. The downside to the recovery tool is that you can also make your photo look a little bit murky or gray. So usually you want to use it with a light hand. Then we have this fill light tool here. So if we went ahead and we added some more blacks to our picture, now we have some of them clipped. So if we had a lot of black clippings in our photo, the fill light would work similar to a fill flash. It's going to lighten up some of those darker areas. And so you can see here that that has pulled out some of those blacks in our picture. And so if you wanted to use that as well on some pictures, you can also get a murky effect, which isn't the case for this one. But it's another one that you don't want to use too much of. Generally, the rule is if you use the fill light, you also want to increase the blacks just a little bit so that you still have a little bit of contrast in your photo. But these tools are all very subjective, and so you can kind of use them to get the look that you are going for and be able to have a photo that fits your style and your unique editing. So the last tool that we have up here is this auto button. So let's go ahead and grab another photo. And so if we click on this auto button, it's going to fill in these tools here to give you the look that it thinks that you're going to need to fix your histogram up here. So let's go ahead and click that. And so it generally does a pretty okay job and is a really good starting point for working on a photo. And in this case, I really do feel that it has done a pretty good job here. We might just increase the brightness just a little bit, but not too much, just to pull this over closer to the highlight side of the histogram. And we could probably still increase the blacks just a little and still be safe. So those are the tonal values that we can use to help edit our photos and to get a really nice look. So the before and the after on this one is right here, so you can see how murky it was, and we sort of brought that to life. And again, right here you can see that we had a very murky photo, and now she is full of color. So thank you for watching this video tutorial. Happy editing!